I'll be showing you how I painted the A Song of Ice and Fire Baratheon Heroes 4th pack. This set gives you Renly and his Rainbow Warriors, which is his King's Guard, which includes Loras, Brienne, Asoiaf, and a bunch of randos. And after a primer of silver, I went over all of them with Shining Silver by Army Painter. You can also use Just Silver by Vallejo or Stormhost Silver by Citadel. Except for Robar Royce, who we cover with Retributor Armor by Citadel or Glorious Gold by Vallejo. And then because they are the Rainbow Warriors, we cover them with contrast paint to represent their shiny, awesome, colorful armor. Robar Royce, the red, gets Blood Angel's red contrast paint. Parman Crane gets Luxian purple, and Guy Morgan gets Militarum green. Now I realize it's going to be a lot harder to fix these colors than it's going to be to fix the faces and stuff, so I decided to hold off on the other guys' colored armor. Base coat all their cloaks with Spaceship Exterior by Army Painter, so now they all look like generic King's Guards with silver and white. Paint all their faces with Basic Skin Tone by Vallejo. They're all from Westeros and none of them are Dornish, so they're all white. On Robar's shield and a couple areas on his armor, I painted it with Hammer Copper because he's a Royce who historically wore the Bronze Kings of the Vale. Or is it pronounced Rice? I know Game of Thrones does a lot of Y equals I because cool. We're going with Royce. Paint Loras and Brienne's hair with Zemesi Desert by Citadel. I got it in a cool dropper bottle. And then we paint their famous rainbow capes. For red, I went with a darker shade with heavy red to stand out with the brighter colors of Lava Orange by Army Painter, Flat Yellow by Vallejo, Sick Green by Vallejo, Crystal Blue by Army Painter, and Blue Violet by Vallejo. None of these stripes are even, but whatever. And I made Brienne's cape go a different direction than everyone else's because, well, she goes her own direction in the story. And when it was still out, I used Lava Orange on Bryce Caron's hair. I did not give Renly a rainbow cape, I just gave him a sun yellow cape with some black to represent Baratheon. I painted over his armor with Eldari Emerald, which is literally the perfect color to the book description. Painted the rest of the cloth areas on Brienne with Sunset Red and Prussian Blue to represent her house of Tarth. I didn't paint the sun or moon symbols, but you can probably do that yourself. Paint all the black areas. I just use craft paint because it's cheap and easy. Brienne, the Blue Beauty, gets Ashuraman Blue contrast paint. Coy, the Yellow, gets Ironjaw's Yellow. Bryce Caron, the Orange, gets Jacaro Orange contrast paint. I also use this to shade his hair. I kept Loras with just silver armor by painted his shield with Sick Green and Flat Yellow. And all the flower details on his armor I painted with Ironjaw's Yellow. Then I painted a bunch of areas with either flat brown or chocolate brown to have stuff like tabards and hair, straps. Guy Morgan comes from House Morgan, which has a very unique bluish-green shield, but I don't have that kind of color, so I had to make my own. With flat green, ivory, and turquoise by Vallejo. Close enough. Paint the antlers on Renly's helmet with ivory. Paint everyone's swords with plate mail silver by Army Painter. Including Brienne, she does not have Oathkeeper yet. I gave them goblin green bases, and then I rimmed it with sick green to represent Renly, having the yellow stag on green. Paint Parman Crane's shield with Void Shield Blue by Army Painter, and the Cranes himself with the same flat yellow we've been using. And McCoy doesn't have a shield, so to represent his family, I painted Crystal Blue on his shoulders, and then painted the sunflower with just flat yellow and flat brown. Highlight everyone's face with Light Flesh by Vallejo. Do your appropriate shadings, but I left all their capes flat colors. After a matte varnish and a couple flowers, here they are. Here's all the main characters. Here's their capes. Here's the rest of the guard. Here's all the rainbow. Oh, and also this set came with a couple flags, which I painted up. These two are the colors of normal Baratheon and Renly's Baratheons. This monochrome one is because my fantasy human faction symbol is a white stag on black, and I made the gay pride Baratheon flag. With the rainbow, and then the trans colors are the outline, the browns, the stag, and the poles, the black. The pink is Pink Parfait by Apple Barrel. Put some flowers on the base, and then the rim around the base is the straight ally colors. But what do you guys think? You think they turned out alright? Do you not? How would you paint them any different? Let me know in the comments below.